So in this segment, we're going to be discussing Zack Polanski is running to be leader of the Green Party. So this is his little promo video that he shot.
The Labour government is failing and the planet is burning. People are looking for somewhere to turn. Nigel Farage and his billionaire mates, they don't offer any real solutions. It's time to rise up. It's time for bold action. And that's why I'm running, to be the next leader of the Green Party. We all know we need a party
I beg this is copyright-free music. I pray to God.
that is bolder, clearer about what it is that we stand for, and crucially, what we will always stand against. A party that can cut through, not just to those who already agree, but to millions more people. A party that knows inequality is at the heart of all of our problems. Town, village, country, city, wherever you live.
This is good because I think my interpretation of the Greens is they're more for like people on the South Coast. Anyways, I just wish the audio mix was better.
Inequality hurts us all. A party that will confront fascism and will call a genocide exactly what it is.
Yeah, something Labour haven't really done.
Now is the moment to build the next generation. New faces, new names, new voices. This is how we'll win. We can beat reform, win more councillors, and send more Green MPs to Parliament. Because we know how to win now, but it's time to aim high.
Do you know how to win? I'm not confident on that. You didn't do well at the local elections. There are plus 44 seats. And obviously depends on what's up for grabs and such. But I don't think you guys did that well considering. I think that Labour loss should have been much higher, given that you're the natural competitors to Labour in a sense.
Higher. There are 39 constituencies where we came second place to an increasingly unpopular Labour government, and many more constituencies where we are growing every single day. This is only
the town I live in. There's literally barely anyone representing the Green Party. And I get their funding issues and stuff, but they barely had a website.
beginning. People are crying out for the Green Party to seize this moment. A nature and climate crisis, racist riots on our streets, and inequality growing deeper every day. It is time for bold leadership. When I say bold, I mean bold. For years, I
think they should have reshot this bit because the cars.
Debated some of the toughest interviewers. And when I say leadership, I mean real leadership. I've seen the difference when you can help empower communities by listening and inspiring people to work together. That's why I'll always use my platform to lift other people up on our estates, in our workplaces, in our faith spaces. We can have environmental, social, racial, and economic justice if we unite, and the Green Party will be the united force for change. Join us for bold leadership now.
Yes, decent. It's not much in terms of policy here, but yeah, I think he should have done more on policy, I guess, in terms of the how rather than the what. But it's him being interviewed by the Radio Times or Times Radio.
The Labour Party have utterly failed people in this country, both through the winter fuel payment cuts, what they've done to the PIP payments, and for people who are severely disabled. And there is a lot of anger and disillusionment in this country. I think Nigel Farage has successfully channeled that into anger, into hate, and into division. I think the Green Party have to step up and offer the politics of hope and community, which we are doing, but I think we're not cutting through in the way that reform is. And I think we've got to have a really important party conversation about what is next.
As you said, you've been going up and down the country, and I don't want to take away any of the sheen and the positive feelings today, but just looking at an article here where you were down in Wiltshire in the elections. You were trying to convince areas like Wiltshire to go towards the Greens. I'm looking at the Wiltshire Council elections. You didn't manage to get a councillor there. Reform did pretty well, but it was the Liberal Democrats that actually, it was no overall control, but they did the best with 43 councillors. What do you think happened in Wiltshire? Why would the people of Wiltshire turn away from the Green Party?
I think that is a really good example of exactly what I'm talking about when I think the Green Party, we need to step up and we need to be bolder. So I went from door to...
What does that mean?
So exactly, I went...
It's like going further and faster, the Labour cliche.
Door to door with the journalist that day who followed me probably for about 4 or 5 hours. We didn't find a single person who was voting for the
Labour Party or the Conservative Party. People were sick of the old two-party system, and it really is a five-party system now.
Although the Conservatives came second with 34 councillors.
Well, so the people I was speaking to, a lot of them were saying, oh, I really care about the environment and I'm glad the Green Party is standing for that, but I don't know what your other policies are. So as I went door to door, the amount of people who then said, oh, now I've heard that, I'll vote Green. And it just occurred to me that far too many of these people do not hear us in national media. They don't know entirely what the Green Party stand for other than our environmental policies.
This is a feeling on the parties as well. Like, you're not really pushing much on social media. One of the things I think Farage that helped Farage get onto national platforms beyond just the idiocy of the 50-50 debate platform, it is the fact that he's big on social media.
So I think what's really important is that the party finds a way to cut through, and the way that the Liberal Democrats have in terms of Ed Davis stunts. I'm not suggesting we start doing that because I think they've got 72 MPs. Great, I'd love 72 MPs. But I think people would struggle to articulate what the Liberal Democrats as a bloc stand for. What is their coherent narrative to change the country? I think the Green Party have a really clear, coherent story to tell. What I just think is we aren't being bold enough.
It's not that coherent. I mean, you had, I think it was Adrian Ramsey just say one thing about trans women, and you had I think Carla Denia saying another thing. Like, the co-leadership thing is so stupid. You can't have two captains. There can only be one.
Enough in telling it.
But yeah, we'll keep an eye on this. He seems cool. He's not an elected MP, which is weird, because every party has an elected MP as their head of party, so it'll be weird to have a head of party who's not in Parliament. I think the Greens, because they've had co-leaders for a while, I think the Greens are probably the only unique in two respects there. But in terms of, I want to see policy rather than just kind of wishy-washy words. I think kind of discussing what are their broader policies outside of just Green stuff would be good. But yeah, he seems like a bit of a live wire, so we'll keep an eye on him. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.